Well, good afternoon. We're coming to you from Potchefstroom in the northwest, where we are attending the 6th Provincial Congress of COSATU, and we're taking this opportunity to speak to some of the representatives of the different unions that represent different sectors in the labor market, and we're taking this opportunity to hear what are some of the labor-related challenges that workers out there in the province and in the country are facing. And of course, this is part of the content as we build up to the much anticipated SONA. Later this evening, my first guest is the regional chairperson of SAMU in Mahikeng, Demi Musiapua. Thank you very much, Ndade Musiapua, for joining us. Just tell us, when it comes to municipalities, what are some of the major challenges and what are your expectations for SONA this evening?
Thank you very much. The expectation from us as SAMU, from the president, is one, he must deal decisively with the issue of corruption. Two, he must bail out municipalities from ESCOM bill. He must make sure that they deploy relevant people and qualified and competent people to municipalities. Challenging facing municipalities from workers is that there are a lot of corruption. One, pension funds are not being paid. There are workers who are already at home, they are not being paid pension fund. Two, safety of workers is not guaranteed. Three, issues of PPE. Workers are not provided with PPE, and everything is now sent by service providers. We are promoting tenders, unlike workers of municipalities do their own job.
I like that you touched on corruption amongst the issues that you mentioned. I remember the president during the SONA last year in 2021, he mentioned that corruption is one of the things that need to be dealt away with. And I think I remember in August last year seeing an interesting report by Corruption Watch stating that corruption in municipalities in the country has increased with about 50% in the recent years. I mean, that is a lot. Can we expand more on this issue?
No, there are a lot of corruption. You will find out in one municipality having 2 mm. The reason because they are only fighting for tenders. We are not giving people a service delivery as expected, and we are therefore calling for president that in municipalities there's a home of corruption where you can realize corruption at its best. I will give a typical example. Even the issues of tightening the road, providing people with water, we are giving a tender to a business person to provide water to our own people with trucks, and that is our competency as workers from municipality to provide people with water.
With regards to corruption, doing away with it, in practical terms, what do you think needs to be done? In practical terms, what can be done to do away with it? And where is the law enforcement agencies in these?
No, we are expecting that law enforcement must take its course, but we got a problem of that. Even the law enforcement, it has been captured by these business people. They cannot root corruption because some of them, they are part of this corruption. And we are saying to the president, appoint people who are competent, who will make sure that this corruption being rooted from municipalities. And municipalities must make sure that they got a corruption hotline to make sure that people can report the corruption as immediately as possible.
Thank you very much, Musiapua, for joining us. They're highlighting that corruption in municipalities seems to be quite a difficult one to crack. My second guest is Sellwane Muthala, representing AFADU, and this is the Agricultural Sector Union. Ndade Muthala, thank you very much for joining us. In the agricultural sector, what are the major challenges and what are your expectations with regards to SONA later this evening? What do you want to hear the president say?
Thank you. The most challenges that AFADU is facing to this sector is the agricultural workers, more so, that are most vulnerable, whereby they are not represented at all. Some of them, or most of them, they don't have, or they are not registered to UIF. Some of them, they don't have, even if their benefits like Provident Fund. Then the expectation is that the if ever it can be an establishment of a bargaining council that will also address all the issues, more particular of agricultural sectors, that speaks about conditions of the employees under agricultural sectors.
And then recently, Agri-SA was saying something about calling on to the president to make sure that there's access of land and access of capital, and to also address issues of rural safety, just so to make sure that there isn't a regression in terms of the progress that the sector has made in the past 2 years. How difficult is it still for people to access funding or capital and also land for them to, in order to be in farming?
I think this issue is the most major issue, because of most of them, they are not even acquired their land as we speak. And the issue is, I don't know whether the problem is come from the presidential or is coming from agricultural as large, because of the issue of most of the issues is most of them, they are not even acquired their land back. And also the issue of evictions from the farmers is too high still. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mathala. There you heard it from my guests. Their plea for this evening, as President Cyril Ramaphosa will be addressing the nation later this evening. Studio, that's how we are going to wrap up. It's back to you for now.